Hello there everyone and welcome back to another episode of Terraria Modding Masterclass. In the next 3 episodes we are going to be covering NPCs, with this first episode being Town NPCs, the second episode being enemy NPCs or hostile NPCs, and then the third one is going to be Boss NPCs, which will cover multi-texture bosses and stuff like that. So, this is actually my 500th attempt of recording this. Tried recording the other day, but it was so hot that I could not speak. And literally a few seconds before this, I recorded the video, turned to look at my computer and noticed that my audio wasn't recording because I forgot to plug the mic in, because I am a moron. So, without further ado, let's get into this video, shall we? Town NPCs. In your NPC class, you'll be extending mod NPC, which you'll be using the Terraria.mod loader. These are the only 4 using statements you'll need: Terraria ID, Terraria.localization, and Terraria.mod loader itself. Just above the class, you'll put in square brackets auto load head. I'll explain why in a moment. Now, first 2 overrides are public override string texture and public override string array alt textures. First one is the main texture of our NPC. This is the texture the game will choose, or display rather. So we do git return TMMC, then the folder is NPCs, and then our file name is TMMC Town NPC.png. You don't need to add the extension to the end. In the alt textures, we have git return new array, then we're opening brackets, then we got there, and then we got TMMC slash NPCs slash TMMC Town NPC underscore alt underscore 1. If we open up my folder view, you will see we have the TMMC Town texture, then TMMC Town NPC underscore alt underscore 1. But we also have the head here. This is why we have the auto load head. You'd have the name underscore head. Our class is TMMC Town NPC. Auto loading head will do automatically look for a file called TMMC Town NPC underscore head. And let's head back to Visual Studio. Speaking of auto load, we are going to override bool auto load, and then we got a reference to string name. In this case, I've chosen name equals fake guide. If we just open up Terraria, because I do have it open already, just to save time. Go to a single player world. Let's go to, which one is, I'm assuming that one, then that one. This might not actually have the mods loaded now I think about it. It doesn't have the mod loaded, or does it? I might have actually forgotten to load the mod. Oh no, it's in. Okay. So as you can see, we got Marco the painter. I think it actually shows it here. We got Marco the painter, Matty the angler, Jacob the guide, Gilbert the merchant, Lorraine the nurse, Durham the demolitionist, Tanya the dryad, Darius the arms dealer, Ahinadab, I don't know. The die trader. So the name we got is Fake Guide, and this will be the name of the NPC. Like I said, it's something the Fake Guide. You don't need to add the to this. And then we return mods.properties.autoload. By default, this is set to true. Next, in the set static defaults, we have a few things we need to set. First one is the NPC frame count. I'm using literally the guide texture, so it has 26 frames. You do main.npc frame count of NPC type equals 26. Then we have npc id.sets. This is where we set certain variables for our NPC. First one is extra frame counts, or frames count, equals 9. So if there's more than a certain number of frames, I can't remember which point in the texture, you need to add a value here. In this case, there's an additional 9 frames, so we got 9. npc id.sets.attack frame count equals 5, because there are 5 frames in this NPC's attack animation. npc ids.set danger detect range is the range in which the NPC looks for enemies, and if there are any, it will attack. npc id.sets attack type, we set this to 0, which I believe it kind of does the same. No, it's a certain type for the NPC. I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but by default this is 0, and I use 0 for this. I'm not 100% sure on this. I might have to double check. Attack time is self-explanatory. It's the time it takes for the NPC to attack. In this case, we've got 90. The attack average chance equals 30. This is how often they will attack. Hat offset Y, in this case, is 4. So when the party hat is warm, it will be offset by 4 pixels. Next, we have the set defaults. First two, we have our npc.town NPC and npc.friendly. And we set these to true. So we do not take damage if we walk into the NPC, and they will be have certain methods called because of a town NPC. npc.width and npc.height is the hitbox for the NPC. The AI style is 7. All town NPCs use this AI style. Damage, defense, and life max. These are self-explanatory. Damage is the amount of damage they kind of deal. Defense is their defense, and life max is their life. NPC hit sound and death sound are the sounds they make when they either are hit by an enemy or they die. Then npc.knockback resist equals 0.5. This is how much resistance they have to knockback from enemies. Some enemies have really high knockback, some have really low. Animation type equals npc id.guide. Because our texture is literally the same as the guide, they're literally twice with it, we have the same animation. If you have completely custom, you'll have to write your own animation code, but I'm not covering that in this video. That is for a future NPC video, either the next or the one after. So our next method is public overrideable can town NPC spawn. So this will check if our NPC can spawn. As you can see, we've got 2 parameters here, int num town NPCs and int money. So let's say if you're poor, let's say you don't have 1 gold and you only want the NPC to spawn if you have 5 gold, you do something like, I can't actually do that, I can't type while Terraria is running. You do return money greater than or equal to 50,000, and if you're below that, then it won't spawn. You can also do it based on number of town NPCs that already exist. But in this code, we're doing if we have a certain item. What we do is loop through every single possible player. Even though you may be playing single player, it still has to loop through, just because worlds can be shared. Multiplayer with any world is possible. So we loop through all 255 players. We get the player, and if the player is not active, so basically if they're not dead, or this is if the player is able to move, or basically stuff like that, we continue. So basically continue just skips the rest of the code and goes to the next index. Otherwise, we're doing a for each item in player inventory. So we're looking at each item the player has. Then we're doing if item.type is equal to our DMMC item. Then we return true. Otherwise, the NPC will return false and not return. This is, I believe, optional, and by default this will return true, I think. So next bit we have is Town NPC name. This is the first name of the NPC instead of the extension they have on. So in this case I'm doing a switch statement here, and we're doing a random value between 0 and 3. So if it's 0, will be called Fool the Fake Guide. 1, Jester the Fake Guide. 2, Joker the Fake Guide. Or 3, or a value that we haven't got a case for, we go to the default, which is returning links. Next we have the get chat method. When you talk to an NPC, they tend to have lines of dialogue. Well, they all have lines of dialogue, which are just mainly aesthetic. It may give us the NPC some personality. So there are two parts to this. This first bit here is if you want your NPC to talk about another NPC, for example the angler. So here we do int other NPC equals NPC.find first NPC of NPC ID angler. And because there can only be one of each town NPC, we just do find first. And if other NPC is greater than or equal to 0, by default this will return -1 if it doesn't exist. And our next 4 rules return true, I believe this is. We return did you know that? Then we got main.npc other npc.given name, so this will be the first name they have, is the angler. So their dialogue there. But if you don't want to have NPC stuff, or if they don't get this set to true, you can do a switch statement like we did with the town NPCs name. Do main.van.next, then the number of lines you want them to have. In this case I've got 4. Like with the names, in case 0, 1, 2 default will return based on that value. And then you can set what they say here, including if the angler is a town NPC, I have a 5th chat option. And yeah, that's the get chat method. Next you have chat buttons. So public override void, set chat buttons. And there are 2 buttons you can set. The first one is 90% of the time to do with a shop. So to get the shop option, you do language.get text value of legacy interface.28. Button 2, however, is for anything you want. The angler has the quest. The dye trader has that strange plant related button. The guide has the crafting, I believe, is second button. But the old man has this as curse. So when it's night, Skeletron is spawned. This can be anything you want. Public override void on chat button click. So when we click the first button or the shop button, we do if first button shop equals true. This will make it so it opens up the shop. Otherwise, we can have it run some completely different code. In this case, I've done main.npc.chat text equals do you like that custom button? You can modify it to do more. So when we click the custom button, our NPC will say this. But you can write your code how you want and make the NPC run this code. Like if you really wanted to, you can make an NPC out like the enchanted sundial or make it switch to day or something. So as we've got a shop, let's do public override setup shop. Chest shop ref int next item or next slot, sorry. You'll be wondering why this is set to chest. NPCs shops are laid out like chests, basically. They have the same kind of layout, I guess you could say. What we do is shop.item and then the slot. This will always start at 0. .set defaults and then we set the type of item. In this case, mods.item type TMMC item. So slot 0 will be this item. Then we do next slot plus plus. So next slot is now 1. Then we can do another one. So slot 1 will be TMMC tile item. Next slot plus plus. Slot 2 wall item. You can also have conditions such as main.moon phase is equal to 2. There are 8 moon phases, I believe. And on the second moon phase, or rather third in this case, we make it so the shop includes the moon charm. We could either do hard mode, in this case we've got to give the guide voodoo doll, even have it if you have a buff, in this case giving a recall potion. You can have up to, I believe it's 40 items in the inventory of the in the shop inventory, and you can even change some of the values of items after the set. So if you do shop.item next slot .value, you can change the price of an item. Do that before next slot, just so it's on that same slot. Next we're going to cover NPC loot. When an NPC dies, they can drop loot. This is most common with bosses and hostiles, but town NPCs can also drop items. In this case, I'm making a drop TMMC accessory, which is something I have not covered in this series and is available on the GitHub if you are interested on creating an accessory. You can do multiple items if you wish. You can even make it so it's random, but this is basic item.new item npc.getrect mod, then the item type we have. So that's pretty simple. Next we're going to change a few of the variables to do with their attacking and creating projectiles. Public override void town npc.attack strength. So their damage is equal to 25, knockback is equal to 4. So this is how much damage they will, well, base damage they will deal, and their knockback. Attack cooldown. This is so it's every 30-ish frames. I think this is frames and not seconds. I could be wrong. Can't remember how they coded it. And then we do a random extra cooldown, which is a value between 0 and 25. Which will be added onto the default cooldown. So let's say it's the max one. You're waiting 55 frames or seconds. Pretty sure it's frames. Next we have public override void town NPC attack proj. So we're going to make it shield projectile. In this case, Watch type equals projectile ID dot demon scythe. The only one I can ever think of off the top of my head. And we're doing an attack delay of 1. There's some delay between the projectiles. And we can also modify the speed and stuff if you have a projectile that doesn't handle speed in its own code. Unfortunately, the demon scythe does, so this doesn't show well, but our multiplier is 5, so it's going to be 5 times faster. Random offset modifies that. We also have gravity correction, which allows you to modify the projectile's gravity. Finally, we have some conditions we can add for spawning. So public override ball, check conditions, and you'll have these here. So int left is the left position of a house, right is the rightmost position of a valid house, top is the top of the valid house, and bottom is the bottom of the valid house. So we're going to make it so we are checking for TMMC tile and TMMC wall. So int score equals 0, and we are looping through x is equal to left, and then x is less than or equal to right. We increase this, and we do the same for y, but top to bottom. Then we get the type. Baseline is x and y position by doing main.tile xy.type. If type is equal to mod.tile type TMMC tile, our score is increased by 1. We can do the same thing for walls. Main.tile x, y.wall is equal to mods.wall type TMMC wall, then score ++. Then we need to return either true or false. We are doing this by doing score is equal to or greater than this formula here divided by 2. Basically, right minus left will give a value which is basically shifted, I guess you could say. So for example, if our left x coordinate is 100 and our right is 112, right minus left will give us only 12. So we do 12 multiplied by, let's again use bottom at 150, top at 140. So we got 12 times 10 is 120 divided by 2, 60. And so if this score is greater than or equal to 60, then it returns true, otherwise it returns false. Let's go into our Town NPC world. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to show you the NPC spawn. Okay, so I've given it enough time. I got really bored of waiting. Like I said, every 2 minutes an NPC spawns, but I'm not waiting around 2 more minutes because it's a nightmare. So not the prefix editor, mob spawn, Town NPCs, fake guide. So here is our fake guide. Okay, if we speak to him, we've got if the angler is a Town NPC, I have a 5th option, and of course you arrive after I just spawn you in. Oh look, here's Joker and there's Jester. They're exactly the same NPC. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty simple to do. If I do it a few more times. We're getting that same one quite a bit, ain't we? Try and show them all. We do have a angler here, but for some reason, there we go. Did you know that Matty is the angler? So yeah, we have 5 options there. Then we have the shop, close and custom. I'll start with custom. As you can see, do you like that custom item? You can modify it to do more. And then we also have the shop. Here we have TMMC item, TMMC tile, and TMMC wall. They have no value because I didn't give them a value. So let's give ourselves a buff, shall we? Regeneration for 60 seconds. As you can see, we now have the recall potion. The other ones was hard mode. I can't really show without killing the wall of flesh. First quarter, let's try the... Nope, let's... What's the enchanted sundial? Yep, third quarter. There we go. So third quarter is moon phase 2. So here you can buy the moon charm. I don't exactly have anywhere to put it, so I'll put it there. And there we go. That's how you create an NPC. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. All the source code is available on GitHub. Link is in the description below. If you're not a patron, it would be great if you could support my videos by checking out my Patreon. We also have a Discord if you are interested in chatting with other modders, if you need modding help, if you want updates on stuff. I do have the community tab, just keep forgetting to use it. Until next time, thanks for watching. All links down in the description below. Until next one, goodbye.